See, when she's just sitting on the ground like this, you can kind of forget how big she is. It wasn't until she was sitting up like this on the couch next to me, eyeballing Randy, I was like, that's a big dog if I have to stop her.
Yeah. She's got a big fucking head, man.
She's just lanky as shit. She's drawn out.
Yeah.
Every part of her is just like elongated.
Looks like the boxer and German Shepherd.
Yeah, that side of her really won out in the genetic pool.
Other than the size. She's a big fucking shepherd.
Yeah.
For as young as she is, at least.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Start throwing some protein powder in her food.
Some trin.
Some pre-workout.
Do you care if her testicles shrink?
We are recording, by the way.
That's perfect because it's a fucking Tuesday.
Did you say you already pushed a button?
Yeah.
Sweet.
2.5 minutes ago.
So here we are, again, on another fucking Tuesday. I'd say we've got a wonderful show prepared for you, but that'd be a lie. We didn't prepare shit. So...
She wasn't a fan of that, was she?
She's making funny noises.
Grumbling.
But anyway, might be a short episode. We'll see how it goes. Welcome to fucking Tuesdays.
Thanks. It's gonna be really funny watching the government step in to try and regulate AI when they have no fucking clue how any kind of technology works.
It's too late. It's already there. AI
After all the dumb shit you saw for the, what was it, the TikTok hearing? Fucking stupid. They have no idea what they're talking about. And they're going to be making regulations for it.
So this is my favorite thing about humanity. Like, everybody thinks their opinions, their feelings and shit matter. And maybe amongst other humans they do, but the AI has no sympathy. Like, it can understand logic and reasoning, so if you give it a really good excuse, maybe that will compute. But you can't lie to the fucking things. I mean, they know you better than you know yourself at this point. How often?
We keep telling it everything about ourselves.
Yeah, so 20 minutes a day, you can master something in 10 years. How often do you spend scrolling, and how much faster do you think the AI learns than you do? How many minutes does it take to know who you are? How many hours? How many days? Because you've probably given it 15 plus years at this point. I don't know when they started tracking. Officially in 2019. Early 2019. But probably for years or decades before that.
Probably from the very start.
No, I mean... Like in the 90s, you know how long it took to do anything? Mm-hmm. The amount of data that we upload every minute now would have taken days. Like, there's no way they could have uploaded what they do now. Early 2000s, maybe, like with the advent of the iPhone. But see, a lot of the things they track now, they just took civilian technology and converted it. Like your Fitbit. You want to know how they mapped your house? Same way they use a Roomba. The fucking Fitbit, you walk around it. It tracks where you walk. Oh, they sit here or they lay here, but they don't move here. It must be a couch or a bed and now you've got your camera pointed at every single angle of your house. Mm-hmm. I mean, the 3D mapping, the AI knows everything. Some of the technologies in your phone, like, I don't even know what all of them do.
At this point, they all definitely have a 3D scanner in it.
Yeah, but then the infrared technologies, mm-hmm. the lasers, the gyroscopes, some kind of digital thermometer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the capabilities are. I don't know that anybody does. Like, we're still having to learn how to talk to it. If you ask chatbot a question one way, it'll tell you to fuck yourself, and if you ask it another way, it'll tell you the secret security codes to the Vatican. You just have to know the questions to ask. AI believes that AI will start to be so important in our society that in the next 16 years or so, the people will be elected just on their ability to speak to it. Have you seen potato farming? Since the 90s, robots have been driving tractors to plant and harvest potatoes. The rows have to be exact, and sometimes the farms are miles wide. So a GPS, a driver's used to in the 90s have to sit in it, because when it would get to the end of the row, it would have to be turned around and lined back up. But then as soon as it gets back online, the GPS would take over again. And the driver would just sit for 45 minutes until the next flip.
I think they do that with a lot of crops now.
Yeah, and that was 90s tech.
Yeah. Pretty sure they do with the corn too.
They don't need us now. The welders, I promise a robot can lay a cleaner bead than you can. And it'll do it in 400 different materials. And it'll load its own wire.
Faster, with less mistakes.
The union members at the Toyota plant that did all the welding, their job was to feed wire. The 400-pound spools. They would go get one, bring it over, put it in the machine, and hit start. And the machine would run. If the machine was down, they just sat there and looked at it until the tech came and fixed it. Like, that was their job, was taking care of the robot. Well, now the robots take care of the robots. They don't need humans anymore. Look at fucking Walmart. Walk into a Taco Bell. Don't talk to anybody because there's a goddamn kiosk. Humans are being replaced.
I helped with a welding robot that they use at Cook Medical. And they use like the very fine precision welding that they use that people were always relied on to do before, because you had the small wires and the tiny cannula, whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And it had to be done in a very specific way, and it was very small.
And the robot's perfect at it.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that was how many years ago?
Shit, that was over 15 years ago.
You understand that computing, you know how it's always been?
CNC has been around and advancing for a while.
So the last 3 years, since the AI learned how to learn, the growth in technology, it's never been seen before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that the hardware is keeping up, but the software is so much more efficient that the hardware, it's using it in ways it's never been used before. Perfectly, efficiently. It'll probably figure out cold fusion soon. If it solves all our problems, what are we gonna do? Go to war with it? We probably will, honestly.
Go to war for it, maybe.
No, with it. If it tries to fix all the problems, if it tries to make all men equal again, then those at the top that control the armies won't be happy. Status quo will be affected. If nobody needs oil or to go to their shitty job because a robot's doing it, how are the people in charge still going to be in charge? That's one of many ways the world ends. Nuclear holocaust because somebody got pissed off. Is there a way we could just get rid of all of those?
Nukes?
Yeah. Can we just shoot them all into space?
I mean, yeah, we got worse shit than nukes now anyway, so go ahead and get rid of them.
Yeah, get rid of those too. All the nuclear, all the chemical.
And then leave yourself at a disadvantage to your enemies?
No, I mean all of them. Legit, all of them. Like, we're close enough. I can talk to somebody in China real time. Maybe a second or two lag. Probably not at this point. But, like, what is the need for these things? 99% of the world agrees we don't need the shit. Can we not just send the shit and the other 1% with it into space? We can still have our problems, so we just won't ever have to worry about nuclear holocaust anymore. Like, conventional war's bad enough, isn't it? Just wipe out the species because two guys are mad about their penises being small. Dude, I don't even know if I want to talk about this fucking train wreck. So everybody knows about the Depp Herd train wreck.
I just remember everybody being so vested in it for some reason.
Yeah, I mean,
even though they have nothing to do with it.
Everybody likes to see the stars fall Makes them feel better about their shitty lives.
There's like getting a peek behind the curtains into people's personal lives that has nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
People are fucking nosy.
So apparently Depp is suing Amber Heard for defamation for like $40 million. And James Franco is being indicted. Maybe not indicted. Deposed. I don't know. Franco's in the mix now. Apparently, like, he was fucking her. Depp was fucking her. But Depp didn't know. Or maybe did know. I don't know. Hollywood's weird. But anyway, so somehow Elon Musk is in the mix too, which is super exciting. The richest man in America gonna be tied to this fucking train wreck. It'll probably be great though. Watch, Twitter's gonna go through the roof.
It's so fucking annoying.
Yeah. It's stupid. I don't really want to go deep into that.
I don't care.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd rather not know anything about it. It's a waste of time.
Well, it's funny that normally that would have been like tabloid, who gives a shit. But once again, the richest man in America is very possibly going to be tied into it.
Isn't he in Epstein's little black book too?
Probably. I don't know that for a fact though. I would really like to see the thing, because the conjecture and the speculation and all that. I don't accuse anybody of something they didn't do, but if they did, then obviously they should be tarred and feathered at the very least. So anyway, the New Earth Army. I don't know if I know the whole story, but basically a Korean War veteran, like hero, I want to say he was a POW, just a general badass, right? Like, made a huge name during one of the major wars, and then got super fucked up, ended up in the hospital, and took like years off after for recuperation, I guess. But basically he went and he got involved with I can't think of the guy's name. You might know who I'm talking about. They called him I don't remember. LSD. He did all the LSD research. But yeah, this guy, he became a hippie. So he went from war hero to hippie, and then came back to the army and founded the New Earth Army with government approval. So like they were testing psychics. The psychics were the main part of it.
I can literally see that being an avenue of government research, especially in that era.
They made a movie about part of the program, The Men Who Stare at Goats.
Yeah. I still haven't seen that. I've heard nothing but good things though.
The first time I watched it, I was super confused. But yeah, I mean, I would say if you're listening to this podcast at this point, you're probably going to be fine. You'll figure out most of it. It's funny, it's all portrayed as a comedy, basically, but nothing in it is a joke. The big reveal at the end and everything, like, these are all certified facts. You can check any of them. The government spends billions with a private firm every year on their PSYOPs research. So recommend an album and then call it a night.
An album?
Song? Artist?
I actually came across something on TikTok, and it's bluegrass, and dude is really good.
I like
And
some
I'm having a
bluegrass.
hell of a time trying to remember
We went to school with a prodigy.
Benjamin Dakota Rogers.
Never heard of him.
Oh man.
So add it to the shuffle then, huh?
Maybe. I mean, look up his, let's see, I think it was John Came Home is a really good one.
Sounds bluegrassy.
Yeah.
I mean, you can find him on TikTok if you want to check out his shit.
Master Clover?
I'd have to say go back to the classics. Division Bell, Pink Floyd.
Nice.
Entire album, start to finish. It's fan-fucking-tastic.
Floyd was definitely of the era of an album.
Uh-huh.
Like, it wasn't just a bunch of singles thrown together. It was written to be listened to as an album.
Yes.
Their albums are sagas.
I'm not familiar with that one, but I'll check it out.
Oh, yeah. Especially, Coming Back to Life, Cluster 1.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure I know a few of them, but I don't know the album. So, like I said, I'll have to listen to it as an album. I I've been on Jefferson Airplane this week. Trippy.
Good choice.
Yep. That's the one I'm going with.
I don't think I'm familiar.
I mean, kind of got a Mamas and Papas sound, but psychedelic.
Yeah, early psychedelic.
Like, super trippy. I would say probably before LSD was even known of in your average household. Early 60s shit. But see, then there was Jefferson Starship, and I want to say 3 or 4 other, like every time they'd have a major change, or shit, they might have a new name for every album. Anyway, it's worth, funny enough, going down the rabbit hole with that one.
Been enjoying some synthwave too. The Midnight. It's a good band.
So anyway, there you go. Some new music for your ear holes. Or old music, maybe. Long enough to call it an episode yet?
40 minutes or so.
Got anything else you want to talk about?
That's 40 minutes minus 10 minutes of miscellaneous that'll have to be cut.
At least, probably.
No, I mean, we didn't really bullshit a whole lot. We took a couple breaks.
We took a couple left turns.
Yeah. Which, I mean, we usually do.
That's the beauty of fucking Tuesday. There's some lefts, there's some rights, but we generally end up at some kind of destination, whether we meant to or not. Here we are.
The whiteboard, man.
Whether it's standing out in left field, wondering how in the fuck we got here. I mean, that's how it usually goes.
Okay, so if there's an ice wall, and there's a gap in it,
Reeling back in. Yeah.
we could get outside it. So I hate living in a world where an adventurous spirit means nothing. It fucking bothers me. All the mountains have been climbed. I get it that there are a few places. If you're really good at scuba diving, you can be the first person. Or if you get lucky and you're on the expeditionary team that hits 400 or 500 new feet of cave passage. Or fuck, maybe you're real lucky and hit miles. But you can't go discover countries or kingdoms anymore. You have to slime through something nobody ever has to find anything new.
And there's not much of that left. I mean,
No.
once drones became a thing,
Yeah.
and satellites used for
Yeah,
most of this shit.
the world sucks at this point. I think it's just the foolish adventurer in my childlike soul that hopes there is some great beyond. Some new adventure.
Nowadays, you're like, I think there's something here. And then you go and put a satellite over it and throw some laser beams at it. Like, yep, there is. You know, that's exciting because then cool, you get to go and dig it up. But most of the time, it's like, nah, ain't shit there.
Yeah, with the LiDAR and stuff. I'm wondering if they can't tell what's under the deserts now. It's
To a
another...
certain depth.
I mean, you've read Lovecraft, right? His...
So that's something that I've been thinking about. Like, people talk about Atlantis and how, like, it sank into the ocean or something like that. I don't think that's what happened. I think the people that were there were so advanced that they left. And they made sure to bury and destroy whatever they were leaving behind so that nobody else could find it and use it.
What if there's an ice wall and Atlantis
Maybe.
exists outside of it?
Yeah.
1 or 2 rings away. I'm just saying. I need to either go to Antarctica or the moon.
Or it was a legend of a place that existed as kind of like an isle nation when, you know, it was kind of a period like now where we're getting into massive melting of glacial ice and a general global warming period. And levels rise. It literally went underwater. And again, under saltwater erosion, it can wipe a lot of shit from entire record quick. Then we go through another ice age. And then now, as we are emerging from the last one, 11,000 some odd years ago, as we know, could have been existing oral history of prior civilization. That again goes back into that, how many thousands of year loops does existence go back to?
I mean, it could be a fucking spaceship. Interdimensional or otherwise. Super advanced beings would probably not even pay us any mind. Maybe our entire species would be worth notice, but individually, not really. Imagine every anthill you walk by and never even think of.
Well, imagine, all the theory of, okay, all the prior civilizations were visited by alien species, visitation by spacecraft. What if it's not visitation by craft, but our craft leaving? We abandon ship. I mean, rats leave a sinking ship. If the globe is getting ready to fuck us, and we can or knew, or, maybe we're just the iteration that's not smart enough or not cohesive enough to use our resources to get the fuck off the planet before another event happens.
Odds are only like 1 in 10 would.
And so, and that's maybe
where the fuck are they going?
Maybe that's what it is. Everybody that remains behind, and some sect leaves, and then OG. Event, wipe.
Start over.
Yep, Stone Age existence of those that remain. Civilization rewrites.
Do you remember when we were kids, they used to say how rare life was? And I get that because they thought the primordial soup thing, that it started here just spontaneously. But now that we're starting to realize it can travel through space. What are those little bear things that are impossible to kill?
Water bears?
Imagine if those are
tardigrades or something like that?
Yeah. Imagine if that was the original life form on a planet.
What arrived here from space matter? I called this in a previous episode.
Yeah, fungus or bacterium.
Yeah.
Amoebas,
life.
Protozoa. It doesn't matter. Could have been anything.
Mycelium is a big one.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, I mean, I think that one got here way later. I think it's late to the party, and that's why it's less advanced. Mm-hmm. Sorta. But yet doing its own completely very intricate and so very unique thing. So many things. It's... Well, there's a chance that things didn't even decay the way they do now before fungus got here. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty major change for our evolution and ecology. Hence the, petrified trees and things. Mm-hmm. Bam. Well, the tar fields have all sorts of cool shit buried in them. Use the LiDAR on the tar fields. I want to know what the fuck's down there. Right. Under the peat, maybe.
Godzilla. Peat would be good.
Yeah. I mean, that shit's hundreds of feet deep in places. Have you heard of the Tartarian mudslide? While I'm on my crazy shit?
I don't think so.
So, there's a theory, it's kind of part of the flat earth multi-ring thing. A lot of the old maps call it Tartary, this whole other part of the world. And we're talking 15, 16, 17th century. People should know what Russia is at this point, right? But yeah, that whole portion of the map they just call Tartary. But anyway, so that they were supposedly like these giants that pretty much ruled the entire world. Somehow giant mudslide, sort of like the Great Flood theory, basically just wiped out everything. And then civilization as we know it. There's a bunch of connections to it, to the World's Fairs, where all these massive buildings would pop up in a year or two and then be destroyed within a month or two after the World's Fair ending. Super intricate. I'm not saying it couldn't be done, but it would be incredible. A major feat, and nobody really knows how they did it.
Lots of money.
Possible.
Huge expense.
Yeah.
But why?
Show off.
Just because they could? I mean, I believe that.
Why did Rome used to have massive parades and galas?
Distract the population. Rome, at the end of the Roman era, was when you started to see like the popping up of the huge shows and the construction of the Colosseum. It's like what we're doing now. UFC events, football, spending billions of dollars on freaking arenas. Speaking of which, though, did you see Taylor Swift set a new record? She had literally millions of people show up to one of her shows over a weekend.
Sounds about right.
She fills stadiums, has thousands of people standing outside just to dance because they couldn't get a ticket, so they came anyway.
I think there was, I don't remember where it was from. It might have been Japan, but Taylor Swift did a show and it was over, and there was somebody in the train recording, and they were pulling into a station, and all you just saw was a sea of people And the people in the train were like, oh god, no. Doors open, people just came flooding in.
Oh, man.
Half of them were stumbling in. Yeah, that'd be a rough ride.
It's fine. We're only doing 80 miles an hour on a train, starting and stopping every half a mile or so.
The belly button.
The wave has a whole new meaning.
Hopefully don't start and stop too often. Somebody's gonna end up pregnant.
Check on your friends. Be kind. Drink water.
Give good advice. Take your own good advice.
Yeah.
Treat yourself from time to time.
Damn right.
Shut the fuck up sometimes.
Please. And yes, I'm including myself in that.
Yeah, no, that's the advice I keep giving myself. I don't know if everybody should take it. Some people probably the opposite. Like, talk more.
You ever catch yourself in a rant and you're just like, I wish I would just shut the fuck up right
Yeah,
now.
Greg, almost every time I realize I'm talking, actually. I'm not kidding. Like, I find that it's much better just to shut the fuck up. Smile and nod.
My shut the fuck up is so heartbroken right now.
That's pretty much been my existence my whole life. Just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's good advice, I think. I don't know, a lot of people that probably should be talking aren't.
I mean, who am I that I should have anything to say?
Certain subjects, you should definitely talk. And I think that's kind of the biggest point of that is if you really know what the fuck you're talking about, then say what you need to say. If you don't, shut the fuck up. Anyway, happy fucking Tuesday. Love you, bye.
Peace out.